The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you had a beautiful week, and I'm excited to be meeting with you this morning. And today, we're going to be focused on self-care and the discovery of your true message. I have two amazing experts that are going to share wisdom and insight of how to really care for ourselves in a whole person, whole body way, and why your true message is so important and how do you discover it. And today, what we're putting this in a container. That's what I'm trying to, if you could see me, you would see my hands drawing the container in the air for you. So we're putting this whole show in a container around women that have empowered us. In honor of Mother's Day, I really wanted to take a moment to acknowledge women that have influenced us. And listeners, this is what I would encourage you to do with the information shared with you today. Take it in. Listen, but then make sure that you take some action. And here's some of the action I would encourage you to take. Share with one of the women that has inspired you, that has empowered you on your journey. So often we empower and encourage one another, and we don't think to necessarily stop and let that person know. So one of the action items I'd love to give you today is to reach out and share with somebody how they have empowered or encouraged or inspired you or lifted your spirits. We all need encouragement on our journey, and it encourages the encourager when they know that what they've said or how they were or the hug they gave you made such a difference in their life, and it encourages them to keep on sharing and being in that way in their life. So I just want to encourage you to do that, and that's why we're going to take a moment, and each of my guests are going to share from their heart around women that have empowered them. So that's the container that we all are serving from and sharing from today as we're looking at self-care and our message and purpose in life. So let's take a collective deep breath together. And I love to do that because we rush along in life so frequently, going from one thing to the next, and we're not stopping and pausing and even making conscious choices. Sometimes the day is just kind of running us. And this is a moment in time for us to come together and really lean into investing in ourselves, learning and growing, so that as we go back out into the world, it's with a consciousness. It's with living your life with the practice of living on purpose and with purpose. So listeners, I encourage you to lean in, open up your ears, your heart, your mind to what is here for you today. Another deep breath. And as we were talking about women that have influenced us, I've been sharing about my grandmothers this month. And one of them that I wanted to focus in on today, she's my Grandma Gracio. And she is one of those compressed big people. I don't know if you know of anyone like that in your life. They're in a small package, but there's a lot of power. So my dad calls them compressed big. And my Grandma Gracio is very much that. She is this feisty, powerful, loving Italian grandmother that is petite, but there's a lot of power and wisdom and love and movement in her life, even to this day. And there was a period when Grandpa had passed away that she moved in with us. And this was a really amazing time for me because I got to know my grandmother as a woman, not just a grandmother figure. And we would spend time together. We'd go on walks together, Bible studies, watch old movies together. We'd laugh and celebrate the highs in life. And then we'd come together in prayer and love when a dip in life would happen. And as much as I admired and loved my grandmother, there was this one thing about her that really made me uncomfortable. And I would kind of cringe because I knew it was coming. And I just curious, listeners, if you have someone like that in your life that you absolutely love, you're passionate about them, you admire them in so many ways, but there's just this one thing. And this is with my grandmother. And it would come out when we'd go shopping and down the aisles. And it's when we got to the bread aisle that suddenly this behavior would come out, because my grandmother was and is a bread squeezer, an Italian bread squeezer. And so she would test the bread, crunch, crunch. This, I can't believe they're serving this. What are they thinking? Don't they know? Who's going to eat this? Crunch, 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 crunch. And I'm trying to save the bread, hide the bread, softly find one that will pass the scrutiny that she would serve her family while not damaging or squishing all the other bread. So I'm like, Grandma, here. How about this one? And we'd leave the aisle, and I finally decide I need to confront my grandmother about this behavior. I said, Grandma, we can't go around squishing other people's bread. It's just not okay. It's not done. And she looked at me, and it was suddenly the energy shifted. And here's the gift in the moment that she gave me. She put one hand, it was like she actually didn't physically put it on her hip, but it was like she did. You know how that energy shifts? And she looked me in the eye and she goes, She lifts one hand, kind of flicks the wrist. What are they going to do? I'm the grandma. And at that moment, I didn't see it as a gift. I thought, she's never going to get this. Let's just get out of the store. But as I look back, that's how she lived her life. Here was a woman that her life partner had passed away, and she was rebuilding and learning everything anew. How to handle all that house stuff that a lot of it Grandpa had done. She had to learn about the finances. She had to figure out and learn how to drive again because he did most of the driving. She had to rebuild her life, figuring out where she started and stopped. And that's how she approached it. What are they going to do? I'm the grandma. She claimed who she was. She did not wait for permission. And she built a life in that way. And she's influenced generations of women. If you go and meet with her to this day, you will see her do that same movement. You can ask any of her granddaughters. You do the little wrist flicking, and they will all finish the sentence. What are they going to do? And that is a huge gift, because I think so often we wait for permission, and it holds us back. And it holds back what we could really be sharing and bringing forward richly to others. And I'm so glad my grandmother asked that question and taught me to ask it and really lean into life in that way. And to this day, during that period of life, she learned how to line dance. She got a silver sports car, goes 25. And she really learned who she was now in this next phase of her life, and she shared that gift richly with me and so many others. And what I want to ask you today, listeners, is, do you remember to ask that question? What are they going to do if I really show up, if I really try this, if I really do things in this way? Or am I consciously or unconsciously waiting for permission? And what I'd love for you to do is actually ground yourself. So put both feet on the floor. Those of you who are driving, stay safe. Hands on the wheel, no texting, eyes on the road, eyes open. For those of you who are able to, please close your eyes and just spend this moment connecting with us energetically. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, eyes closed. Are absolutely safe. Take a deep breath. And ask self, what is it that you need today? What is it that would help you step forward, not waiting for permission, but really leaning in and showing up more in life the way you are and the way you're made? Is it just the reminder? What are they going to do? Or is it encouragement? Or is it remembering to pause? What is it that you need? Take a deep breath and just listen. Feel the response. We have great wisdom when we're willing to stop and listen and receive. Sometimes it's a word, a phrase, a feeling, a picture. What is it for you? And with that, Denisha, I didn't know if you had something laid on your heart that you would like to share with us today.
Actually, I do. So yesterday marked the 6th-year anniversary of my mom passing, and so it's all just coming together for me in a great way today, just to be able to be on your show and to share about women that have been influential. And what's on my heart is just to always love unconditionally and authentically, and make sure that you communicate your love on a regular basis.
Beautiful. Thank you. And how about you, Cynthia? Did you have something on your heart?
Yeah, what came to me was to really deeply love myself. If I one step out further and say, what are they going to do? That's all about loving me and loving all of me, even the quirky parts, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. So just like your grandma, I have quirky parts too, and I need to love those.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Denisha and Cynthia. And Denisha, I want to thank you for sharing with us and that timely reminder to love unconditionally, but also to communicate that, taking that moment, making that call, sharing from your heart. And absolutely, Cynthia, the loving all of us, even those quirky parts. And I find the quirky parts about people, I love knowing it. It actually helps me feel even closer and more connected to them, knowing that sometimes those quirks or those differences are really, really beautiful and very enriching to know and experience and share with one another. So listeners, let's take one more deep breath together and see again what is laid upon your heart. Is it loving yourself more fully? Is it sharing and acknowledging with somebody? What is it that you need? Stepping out a little bit more, sharing your quirky parts. And as we go into our next commercial break, or our first commercial break, I should say today, I invite you to stay in this place of receiving wisdom and information. And then as we come back, bring that wisdom and information with you, because we're going to add valuable tips and insights on that. As we come back from commercial break, we're going to be talking with Denisha on a deeper level about how to bring all of us in a healthy, balanced way forward. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a minute.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that break and you got an opportunity to really sit in the wisdom and the information that really is available to us when we remember to pause, to breathe in and listen. So I'm going to invite you to take another breath with me. And this time really preparing yourself to listen and hear and engage with this next exciting segment as we really get to know Denisha and her expertise, and she shares valuable wisdom with us. But before I bring her on, I wanted to share just a little bit more about her. So Denisha Lockett is the founder of LET Movement, L-E-T Movement. She is a speaker, a health and wellness coach, a Reiki master, a bars practitioner, and a licensed massage therapist. So a lot with the body and supporting people in health and wellness. And she really believes it's important to help women and men really connect powerfully with their body. And when they do that, they can align themselves and their work and their life more fully. She has been a speaker in a lot of different forums as an expert supporting young women and women in corporations and all over the Bay Area, it sounds like. Is that correct, Denisha?
Yes.
Okay. And she really is known for helping women connect powerfully with their body and talking about self-esteem as well, because I know that's touched on as well when we start working with our body. So, Denisha, I welcome you officially to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I always love starting with my favorite question, which is the why question. Why is this work of helping people connect with their body and health and wellness and self-esteem, why is that work so personally important to you?
I would say that work is personally important to me because I've been on the journey myself. If this is what I'm passionate about, I feel like it's what I was put here to do. I quit my job in government and just in corporate to pursue my passion of working with others because it's the gift that I've been given. And I feel like that there's so many people in the world that aren't connected to themselves, that aren't aware, and there's people that just watch every day and don't really interact with other people or connect. And I feel like I'm here to help people connect to themselves so that they can live a more full life.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And in this journey, because that's a big shift, retiring from that or leaving that governmental work and that corporate environment to really give and serve in this way, is there a woman that has, or women that have inspired you on your journey that perhaps helped you make that decision or led you to do that?
I would say that every woman that I encounter and interact with inspires me in some way. But I would definitely have to say that my mother and my maternal grandmother have inspired me the most in just the strength that they possess. And I watched them not take care of themselves, but give of themselves like limitlessly and take care of everyone else. And so in watching them sacrifice themselves to take care of everyone else, I knew that it was something that I was supposed to do as well, but I knew that I was going to have boundaries. I feel like they died prematurely because they gave so much of themselves and didn't take care of themselves the way that they should have or could have. And so for me, I've taken an approach of holistic healing and following my own protocols and getting work done on myself as well as working on other people to just help them become aware so that they can extend their lifespan and just live their optimal life.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I think that is so valuable and important. And I just want to underline a couple of things you shared, Denisha, because I don't want anyone to miss what you shared, because I think so many of us get pulled so many directions. We can give to the point of depletion. So I love that you experienced some of that in what they did, this really beautiful heart of giving, but with kind of without boundaries, and how you're able to take it to the next level by putting those boundaries. And part of that is taking care of yourself, and so you can keep giving to others. And I think that's really, really beautiful. And for those of you listening, I really invite you to take a look at that and just see, do you have some boundaries? Are you being pulled a lot of directions? Are you continuing to put self-care as a priority in what you're giving and doing, so that you can keep doing that? So thank you so much for that beautiful tip and that reminder, because I think it's so easy just to say yes and serve. So great wisdom in that. And you shared a little bit of this, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to expand on this if there was more on your heart to share. And this is about what inspires your work. And I don't know if this ties into your vision for your work in the world, but I'd love to have you comment on one or both of those.
Okay. So what inspires my work? I would say the connections that I make with people while I'm working on them, the connection that I create for other people, like in helping them become aware of what's going on within themselves, or the introduction of them connecting to themselves inspires me. The impact on others, just to be able to plant seeds and to nurture them and to help them grow if allowed to do so. And I would also say, you asked about my vision. Mm-hmm. And so my vision would be just expansion, like touching lives all over the world, globally, expanding, and just being able to support people through the process of self-care and healing, and of connecting to all parts of themselves, which makes it to where we're able to connect better with each other, which at the end of the day makes the world a better place.
Beautiful. And I just want to highlight that again, or underline that again. I think that was really, really beautiful. That, and two things. I'm very excited about your share, Denisha, if you can tell. Well, I love that you have built into how you're doing the work that you do actually inspires you as you're doing it. I think that's really beautiful. And wouldn't that be amazing if we could all live our life in that way, that every interaction that we're doing, the work that we do, actually inspires us to keep doing it. I thought that was really, really beautiful. And then I love this world vision you have, and the wisdom again in sharing that when we more fully connect with all of our parts. And I was thinking about what Cynthia said, the quirky parts too, like connecting with all of our parts actually helps us connect more fully with ourselves and others. And a more connected world is a world that's closer, more in harmony, and moving in a common direction. And so I thought that was really, really beautiful. So thank you for sharing that with us. And then I know that you have an amazing gift that you've put together for us. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Okay, so the gift that I'll be offering, well, let me start by saying beginning and maintaining lifestyle changes requires support. And sometimes we're not even aware that we're not taking care of ourselves because we're on autopilot, or kind of what I call in zombie mode, and we're just constantly going. And so what I'm offering today is an opportunity for the guests to receive a 20-minute self-care discovery session with me, and it will be via phone call. And this entails identifying essential aspects of your current self-care status, and just initiating and beginning the groundwork to create a master self-care plan to make your life that much more easier, and find different ways that you can incorporate self-care on a daily basis, which will make it more routine and create the optimal lifestyle that you deserve to have.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I agree. I think we need support on our journey in life. It's not a solo journey. We really need support. And why not get support from an expert on our journey to really empower us and support us so that we can be all that we're called to be, all that we want to be, and in a way that we want to be in the process. And I love the term zombie mode. I don't know that I've heard that. I like that. I've heard autopilot, but I like that zombie mode. So do a little check-in, listeners, and see if you've been operating in quote-unquote zombie zone, kind of an autopilot, or is it really with purpose and awareness? And I invite you, whenever you have the opportunity, to talk with an expert for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, to really pick their brain and get support and personalized attention. It can move you forward that much more quickly and powerfully in life, and it helps you not trip or stub your toes or skin your knees as much in the process of life. It really gives you a beautiful leg up in the journey. So I invite you to really say yes to that opportunity. Towards the end of the show, I will actually let you know how to access the amazing gift that Denisha has made available to you, and that our second guest, also Cynthia, has made available, so that you can really lean in, say yes, and actually move some of this wisdom being shared with you and these tips into action in your life, and really get that movement to move you forward effectively and powerfully. And then, Denisha, I also had another question I wanted to run by you here. If someone was looking for help or wanted to see if you were perhaps a good fit for them, if they were interested in learning about your services, is there a way they could kind of evaluate, yes, I need a little support and self-care, I should kind of lean into that? Is there a way that they can evaluate that for themselves?
I would say ask yourself, are you where you want to be in life? What is it that you can do differently? What is it that you need in this moment? And in asking yourself what you need in this moment, if help and support comes to mind, then reach out to me and we can see if we're a better fit based on me just willing to be here for you to provide support.
Wonderful. Thank you, Denisha. I think that's very, very smart and a great tool for us to learn to ask great questions and to listen for a response. I was in a class not too long ago, like you were talking about walking the talk, Denisha, about also getting self-care that we're talking about. And I really believe in self-growth and evaluation, and I don't ever want my stuff to hold my people back. So I'm always in courses and programs to continue my journey. And in this, it was a group class where we were working on our stuff. And there was one lady that I had apparently developed the habit, but none of it, I didn't notice it. But it made me start to look within myself. And it was asking a question, and it was more to be polite to go and do and talk about what she wanted to talk about. She never listened for the answer. It was just, can I ask something? And then she would ask it, not waiting for a response. And I just think it's interesting. Are we doing that with ourselves, that we're forgetting to pause and ask? So here's a great moment throughout, and we'll have several of them throughout the show, to really pause and ask. And so I love the guidance that you've given us, Denisha, as a real beautiful example to develop that practice of, am I where I want to be? Am I having the care and support that I need, or is there an additional need there? And if so, here's where you can lean in and get support and personalized attention in that way. So thank you again, Denisha, for your wisdom and your shares today. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. Well, listeners, we are getting ready to go to our next break. The time goes so quickly. So I invite you to lean into this commercial break. And actually, I encourage you to listen to some of the amazing commercials our sponsors who make this show possible have put together for us. I hope that you lean in, you enjoy them, and we'll look forward to talking to our next guest and to you just after this commercial break.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break, and we had a great time behind the scenes. So they're kind of behind-the-scene moments that happen during a show like this when it's live. While you guys are listening to the commercial breaks, we have our own moments behind the scenes. And I asked permission and was granted it to share a moment that we just shared together. And Denisha, do you want me to just expand and share, or do you want to chip in? What would you like?
You can expand and share.
Okay. So sometimes when we're on a radio show and we know that thousands are listening and it's live, it can be a little intimidating. There's a little bit of pressure there. And what was so beautiful is behind the scenes, as we finished Denisha's segment, she celebrated, and I loved it. I think, what a gift. We need to remember when we stretch or we share or we're stepping out in a new way to remember to celebrate those moments. And so as we disconnected from all of you and got to have our behind the scene moments while the commercials were going on, the thing that she did is she goes, I did it, and celebrated and cheered, and I loved it. And she got to celebrate that with all of us. Right, Denisha and Cynthia?
Yes.
It was really, really special and made me smile. And I just encourage you to wake up every day or find a moment to celebrate like that. It brings such a lift in life to your life and joy to so many around you, to remember the wonder of doing things and stretching and just celebrating those opportunities and moments. So thank you, Denisha, for sharing that with us behind the scenes and then allowing me to share it with all of our listeners. Beautiful moment.
Thanks for celebrating with me.
And then, as I promised, we have our next guest expert that we're going to talk with, and she's actually a frequent guest on our show, and so I'm really privileged, and one of our amazing sponsors, and I'm really excited to be bringing the amazing Cynthia Stott back. But for those of you who don't know her, I wanted to make sure I shared a little bit about her. So Cynthia Stott is a speaker mentor. She's the creator of the Speaker Summit. If you're listening to those commercials, you'll learn all about the Speaker Summit and the amazing work and reach that it does and has, and it's calling to really support messengers. She works with mission-driven entrepreneurs to really help them connect to their people, their mission, and their money. And she passionately, with every ember of her being, on a cellular level, a spiritual level, on up, or on through, I should say, she believes your people are waiting for you, and she really wants to help you be ready for them. And with that, it's my privilege and honor to welcome the amazing Cynthia Stott. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm so excited and happy and honored to be here. I just love your radio show and all that you're doing out in the world.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I know that you have a big why this work is so important to you. And actually, what I didn't share in your bio, and I'm going to add this in, is that she actually transitioned from the Federal Bureau and moved into this work of really supporting the Federal Reserve. I'm sorry. Correct, Cynthia? I want to say it correctly.
Yes, Federal Reserve Bank. The
Federal Reserve. The big money people. And she transitioned and retired and left that environment and community and work that she'd done for many, many years to move into this work of being a speaker mentor and really helping messengers and getting their message out there, and brings that monetizing side to it. So she has a beautiful, rich, diverse background that she's bringing to us. And I wanted to share that because that's a big transition and change, which means there probably was a big why to make that change. So Cynthia, do you mind sharing your why this work is so important to you?
I'm just feeling into that right now and seeing in this moment what to share. Ever since I was a kid, I knew the world was in trouble. And I knew I needed to do something about it. Or this small little voice said to me, you need to do something about it. And I had no idea what to do and how one little person could make an impact. Especially I was a person full of fears. I had 4 strong phobias, and I was the most scaredy cat person I ever met. And I was like, how can I make a difference? And I left the Fed to make a difference.
Beautiful. And I love that because that call and that pull started at such a young age.
Yeah.
And that you listened and you let it bloom and grow and answered yes. Beautiful.
And now I know what to do. So that's, it's like such a joy to me. I wake up every day like I get to do my purpose work and I get to make a difference every day.
So beautiful. Thank you. And I know that you have been influenced by many women actually in your life that have been great influences. Do you mind sharing a little bit about one or two and how they influenced you?
Sure. I actually have 2, if that's okay. They're very different.
Absolutely.
Well, the first one is my 8th great-grandmother, my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother back in 1692. She was actually her name was Margaret Scott with a C, S-C instead of S-T like my married name is now, but Margaret Scott, I'm Stott. And she was one of the women that was hung for being a witch during the Salem witch hunt. And her case, she was actually one of the last to be hung. And her case in particular was the one that was the straw that broke the camel's back that actually broke the witch hunt. And so she inspires me to be who I am, no matter what.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And then you mentioned you had 2.
The other one, people may know of her at least. And it is actually Janet Yellen, who is the first Federal Reserve Bank chairman of the board, sort of like the Alan Greenspan. She stepped up into that role a few years ago. And she was my ultimate boss, not my close boss, but my ultimate boss at the Federal Reserve Bank in San Francisco for 5 years. And the first time I met her, I knew she was really special. I knew she was special before she came. She was President Clinton's economic advisor in the White House while he was in the White House. But the first time she came, we had a town hall meeting where we were meeting her for the first time, just the employees. And while she was being introduced for about 20 minutes and taking care of some business, she went around the room and connected eye to eye to every single person in the room, whether you were a janitor or an officer. She connected eye to eye. Very, very powerful, very connected. And when she did that, it really it really impressed me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that's beautiful. And truly seeing people, regardless of the role or the walk or the way they interact with you, really truly seeing and taking a moment to connect is really powerful and beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Cynthia, I'm going to shift gears a little bit because we have some callers on the line. And I know that there were a couple that were interested in talking with you and asking some questions. So is it okay if I shift over to taking a couple live calls?
Awesome. Great.
Okay, first off, we have Debbie calling in. So, Debbie, I'd love to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. It's great to be here.
And is it okay if I share your full name?
Yes.
Okay, great. This is Debbie Hoffman. Debbie, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. And I appreciate you calling in. Did you have a question for all of us or one of us? We'd be happy to take it.
Well, I actually have a question and a comment. First of all, I've known Cynthia for a while now, and she just has this amazing ability to be so intuitive and so connected, and she's helped me tremendously with my business of helping people to follow up with their clients in a more effective way, to bring more income into their business. And her programs where she's helping folks to get in touch with their deeper message has just been life-changing for me. So first of all, I just wanted to acknowledge her for her incredible gifts and to ask a question, because I'm just always so curious, Cynthia, how do you have these gifts? Like, how did this happen? How do you do what you do so beautifully and so naturally? It's just such a gift, and I'm just in awe about it. I just love some more insight into how this happens for you, that you can be so tuned in to people and help them to be more clear about their message and their purpose.
Thank you. And Cynthia, we have just about a minute, so can you give us a minute answer to Debbie's beautiful question?
Yes. That is that I tapped into my deeper message and tapped into my mission from my soul. What I do and how I do it is my connection to my deeper part of myself, my soul, my mission, and my calling. And when we step into that space, everything becomes easy, and we're an immediate expert.
Beautiful. So it's really stepping into our purpose and our mission and what we're called to do, and then all the pieces start to fall into place. Is that a fair summary?
Absolutely. And we realize everything we've ever done in our lives, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, all lead to this moment.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Cynthia and Debbie Hoffman. I love the work that you do and appreciate you calling in and asking your amazing question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. And we do have another caller on the line, but we have our commercial break coming up. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to check with that caller, see if she's okay waiting and holding on when we come back from commercial break. And then we also have a couple more questions for Cynthia as well. So listeners, I invite you to lean into those commercials and make sure to come back so that we get the next amazing question and we get the additional insight and tips from Cynthia. So we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that commercial break. And we did talk with our guest or our guest caller, and she was totally fine waiting over the commercial break. So I'm really excited to bring our next call-in guest who has a question or a comment for us. So Charlene, I welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. I'm so excited to be on your show. How awesome. And I'm really enjoying it on top of that.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. So bonus.
Yeah, absolutely.
So beautiful. Charlene, do you mind sharing your full name and your business name? I know you, but I know the listeners don't, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to share who you were.
Sure, of course. I'm Charlene Reeves with Maximize Your Wealth Now TV. And, you know, I want to make one comment first and say that Cynthia has been so helpful to me in mapping out my plan and how I'm going to get there with regard to the deepness in my soul. And I just admire her so much, and I admire her work, and I'm very, very grateful to be a part of it. And Cynthia, I do have a question for you. How are you feeling about bringing up to a wide audience your expertise, and how do you feel it's being received?
Okay, how do I feel about bringing my work to a wide audience? Was that what you said?
Yeah, how are you feeling about, you know, because this isn't easy to share. It takes a lot of growth and a lot of depth in your soul to be able to share this kind of thing. And I'm just wondering, you know, so many people do want to share what they have knowledge on, but sometimes they're really afraid. And I want to know how you're feeling about that, because you're really stepping up and making an impact in other lives. And now you're sharing it on the radio.
Yes, great question. Fear. So I talked earlier about that I was very fearful growing up, and I think that either speaking, or especially if you're a speaker and you're not so nervous about speaking, maybe nervous about speaking and showing up in bigger and brighter, shinier ways. There's so much fear inside of us. So I actually have a process that helps to turn fear into enthusiasm, especially for speakers. And so I use that process on myself as well as I'm speaking on radio and your web TV shows, Google Hangouts, and all of that. I have to do my own process on me so I can step out in bigger and shinier ways.
Beautiful. And and Charlene, I'd love to keep you on the line with this next piece I want to ask Cynthia, because it ties into your question. And I think also you have shared with us on previous shows that it's also being willing to serve your people more clearly and not being as concerned about the people who are not your people. Do you mind commenting on that as well? Because I think that's something that ties into Charlene's question and what you've been sharing with us.
Absolutely. So I've really deepened in your people are waiting for you, but you're not for everyone. and especially have started with me, that my programs are not for everyone. It really is about deepening into the heart and soul message. So if that's not for you, that's great. That's your own thing. And I share also that I'm a business medium, and I channel your higher self and even divine money. And so that's not something that everyone is open to. But if you are open to it, it just rings for you. And people are flocking to me, really hungry for this message. And I share with my people that your people are waiting for you. And your message is not for everyone, but that's a good thing, because that your people are really for you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
That makes a lot of sense. If I may comment, that makes a lot of sense, Rebecca, because if you're trying to reach everybody, it's just impossible. But I like what Cynthia said, because if you are speaking about it, then the people that are looking for you will resonate, and then you end up working with the people that you really want to work with. Is that right, Cynthia?
Absolutely. So it's a win-win for you and them. And they not only easily find you because they hear your message, they are really eager to work with you and pay you well for doing what you absolutely love.
Beautiful.
I love that. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, Charlene. It's great to hear your voice and love having you join us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for a great show, Rebecca.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Charlene.
All right.
Bye. And Cynthia, I know that you've put together an amazing gift for us, and I'd love for you to share with our listeners a little bit about the gift, but if you could keep it around a minute, because I want to make sure I can tell them how to find the gifts.
Sure. And it goes right in with this, that you're not for everyone and that your people are waiting for you. So it's actually an ebook called 7 Indicators That Your People Are Waiting for You. And it's an opportunity for you to see if you have one or more of these indicators, your people are absolutely waiting for you and your message.
I love that. For those of you who have been waiting for proof and documentation that your people are waiting for you, here you go. Cynthia's put together a book to support you so you can recognize the indicators that you are feeling that pull, that you're not imagining it, that you're not brushing it off, that really is a pull of your people waiting for exactly who you are, what you have to offer right now. So thank you so much, Cynthia, for making that available to us today. I truly appreciate it. And then listeners, I wanted to make sure I let you know how to access the amazing gift that Cynthia has put together, as well as Denisha, the opportunity to talk with her privately and really get her personal support on your full self-care, fully connected body care for you. So if you're listening to the show live, like we had Debbie Hoffman and Charlene Reeves doing, then you look over to the right-hand side of the screen and you're going to see free radio show gifts. You click on that link, it'll open up. You put your email address and your name so we can keep in touch, and select Cynthia and Denisha's gifts to help you really get movement and traction in your life in these areas. Secondly, if you're listening to the replay, the gifts are absolutely still available to you. You simply go to my website, which is www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Again, that's yourpurposedrivenpractice.com, and click on the radio show tab and you'll see that same link for empowerment gifts up on the left-hand corner. So I want to make sure that you take the opportunity to lean into those gifts to really support you on your journey. That's why I have my amazing, generous gifts provide them to you. And then I would just want to remind you of a couple of things that we talked about today, is to remember not to wait for permission. Really go forward and ask the question, what are they going to do? Really bring all of you forward. And I love the reminders that Denisha shared with us about having boundaries. Of course, serve and connect and bring forward all that you are to others, but make sure there are some boundaries there where there is self-care, where you are helping yourself sustain the pace and sustain and keep living in a healthy, fully connected way. Not in a zombie mode, but really bringing all of you forward with that self-care and support. And then what Cynthia has underlined so beautifully about being yourself no matter what, really bringing that forward, because I believe, and just echoing what Cynthia has shared, that your people are absolutely waiting for you, not for you next week, not for you after you have one more degree and certification. They're waiting for you right now. And if you have that pull, if you have that call in your heart to reach out and share with somebody how they've empowered you to really step forward in an area, to stretch, to maybe do that check-in about my boundaries and self-care, then it's time to put that to action and to respond. Not someday, somewhere in the future. It's a now kind of thing, because it's not an accident that you're on the show today, that you're leaning in, and that you're listening to this closing segment. And I encourage you to honor the space and time together and the message that's been laid on your heart, because we need you fully in our life. This is the moment to bring all of you forward. And my heart's desire for you is to always, always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.